What's good, y'all? Derek Jackson here. So, the other day I was on my Self-Crown live chat and this woman asked me, D, what does it mean whenever a man says, what do you bring to the table? And how should we as women even respond to something like that? Now, of course, y'all can respond how you want to respond, but I'll say this. Typically, a man gonna ask you that question. It's the context matters in one or two different situations. The first one is a little less common than the other one, so we'll go through this one first. The first one is if it's something somewhat long-term, at least 6 months or more, y'all been hanging out, y'all been around, not just dating, y'all are getting serious or already serious, and he asks you, what do you bring to the table? That man is fed up. That man feels like he has not been getting what he's supposed to get from you being in his life. He hasn't been getting an encourager. He hasn't been getting a supporter, a maximizer, a facilitator of his peace. Of course, not a creator of his peace, but he hasn't been getting those things. And that question is a segue into him letting you know that, basically putting an exclamation mark on that notion, which may be warranted. That he may not have been getting that from you. You may have been slipping and not showing up the way that you're supposed to. Either way, it's time for a conversation. It's time for conflict resolution and all that good stuff, or for y'all to just go y'all separate ways. Now, the other context, which is a lot more common, is whenever it's something like more early on in the dating phase. Like y'all only been kicking it the last couple months, like, 1 or 2 months or something like that. Maybe in the first couple of weeks of y'all talking before y'all even go on your first date. If a man asks you, what do you bring to the table, and y'all basically just met, it's a trap. It is bait into you looking to him for validation. And I say that because a truly masculine heterosexual male is not going to connect to any verbal answer that you give him. Like everybody knows, masculine men are visual creatures. We have to see it to believe it. We have to experience it. We have to live through it. Like that's how we're going to get the answer to that question if we're truly looking for it. So what I told my Self-Crown member, and the same thing that I'll tell y'all, if y'all get that question and it's really early on in the dating phase and you want to be kind, like you want a nice pivot, you ain't ready to just, take your check in your purse and just go or whatever, you can answer the question of what do you bring to the table with something like, I think that answer is better experienced than explained. See, what this is going to do is give you confirmation of who you're dealing with. If it's a truly masculine heterosexual male, you're going to say respect. Cool. No big deal. Everything going to keep on moving. If you're dealing with a beta male, if you're dealing with somebody who is looking to try to play you, you're going to get a response, something along the lines of, oh, you ain't got to be rude about it, or why so defensive, or you can't answer a simple question. It's just a simple question, which clearly it's not. And basically what he's letting you know is what he brings to the table is a fragile ego and a lack of emotional intelligence at absolute best. Probably a gaslighter that you're dealing with. Now talk about this and don't forget your crown, but this is basically a temperature check. This is a way to measure how susceptible you are to his little passive aggressive, indirect ways of asserting himself as your intellectual superior at any given moment. These little gymnastics in order to get you scratching and clawing for his approval in any given moment. That's what a narcissist does. That's what a narcissist does to try to see if you'll make for great narc supply. Again, I go in great detail about this in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. So if you want to learn more about these narc red flags and how they do these things, click the link down in the caption and get it while it's 50% off for those of you who are watching this video. But the moral of the story is this. Yes, context matters. But in any context, don't ever let nobody play with you. Like, you want to know that you bring something valuable to a relationship, yes. You want to make sure that, yes, you increase things that you come around. You maximize things. You all of that and the other. But if you know that what you bring is valuable, your only task is to bring it to the right one. So long as you do that, he's not going to be worried about no table. He's going to be too focused on what you two can do in order to build an empire. So those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, Don't Forget Your Crown is 50% off at the link in the caption. Y'all be good.